Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Blood Bowl starting rosters Khorne. So if you are going to be picking up the Mad Frenzy Death team that comes out from Games Workshop this weekend, if you're thinking about playing them in League, this video is for you, because what we're going to do is we're going to break down a few of the options for starting your League with 1 million build and having a look at basically how the Khorne team functions as well. But first things first, we should probably have a look at the positionals and the team itself. So this Khorne team does have a big guy. It's not the Bloodthirster that used to be kicking around for Khorne teams. This one is a Bloodspawn. Now there's a lot of similarities. So the Bloodspawn is a chunky boy in cost and in size. So 160k is probably the most expensive big guy out there. Now you do get rewarded for that with Strength 5, Frenzy, Claws and Mighty Blow +1. So Claws and Mighty Blow +1, they don't stack. So what that means is this guy's going to be punching things twice because he's got Frenzy, and if you knock them down, Claws, you will always break armor on an 8+. Mighty Blow +1 therefore goes on to the injury roll. So basically what this guy says is 8+, I'm always going to break your armor. And then you've got that +1 for the second dice roll. So you're going to be knocking out on a 7. You know, you're going to be causing casualties on a 9. And against Stunty, you're going to be causing casualties on an 8. This guy versus Stunties is just horrific and unfair. So if you're looking for SPP, go goblin hunting. Now the downside of this piece, to compensate for the fact that you're going to be making Strength 5 Frenzy blocks, is that it's got Unchanneled Fury. So it's basically Wild Animal of old. Basically, if you want him to do anything, you've got to roll a 2+. If you want him to punch stuff, it's a 2+. If you want him to move, and only move, it is a 4+. So if you fail the die roll, his activation ends and he just screams at the sky in an angry kind of stupor. On the plus side, you don't lose your tackle zone, so it's not full Bonehead. But if you want to do stuff with him, if you want to blitz, it's going to be a 2+. If you want to move, it's going to be a 4+. So a little bit of an unreliable piece there. You potentially will be using your blitz on him if you want him to move around, but doesn't have horns or anything, so it's just going to be Strength 5. On the other hand, it's going to be Strength 5 Frenzy. This guy's going to be throwing 4-die blocks at most targets, and if you pow anybody down, Claws and Mighty Blow, it gives you basically the best opportunity to take them off the pitch and essentially keep them there. So expensive, 160k, but generally speaking, got a good opportunity if it rolls hot to make up for its team value or more. Okay, now these Bloodseekers. The Bloodseekers are, I think, the most exciting piece of this team. They're Strength 4 Frenzy, okay? Edge 4+ means they're fine for ball carrying, okay? They're okay, but key piece here is that these guys are just superb defenders. There's 4 of them. Strength 4 is huge, and again, like we talk about with the Bloodspawn, Frenzy gives you 1 block, follow up another block. So if you can keep them out of trouble, which where they're Strength 4, you should be able to, they're going to be making 2-die block followed by 2-die block. They're going to be able to take out stuff, and that Strength 4 means you can build a network of them that is going to basically be able to dominate most front lines of the game. If your opponent's got a cage and you chuck a few Bloodseekers on there, they have got 1 turn to escape before that little cluster of your team destroys them. Khorne Gors are going to be your primary ball carrier on this team. They are Beastmen, essentially. They come with horns and juggernauts. They do not have Frenzy. They are the only player on this roster that does not have Frenzy. So they become very good ball carriers. They can blitz out on +1 strength, so they can blitz out on a 4+. They don't have Frenzy, so they don't have to follow, and they do have Juggernaut to start with, which means you can turn a both down into a push, which means you're more likely to be able to keep your Khorne Gore on its feet when you're running around with the ball. Also pretty good for a targeted blitz. However, Bloodseekers being Strength 4 does keep them out of trouble a bit more. The linemen, very unremarkable. Low armor, 8+. No combat skills, but they do also have Frenzy. So if you can stack your blocks well, you're going to be able to delete your opponent's team here. But the difficult thing with Frenzy is if you get it wrong or it goes wrong, you have a follow-up block. And if you are following up a block into a bad situation, it can quickly go from a 2-die in your favor to a 2-die against you. And that's where rerolls come in. So 60k rerolls is not as bad as it could have been. We were expecting 70k, so 60k gives you a little bit more. The downside is Bloodseekers are 110k and the Bloodspawn is 160. So everything you want on this team costs you money, and you are going to need some rerolls to save yourself from bad Frenzy blocks. If you can train yourself to only block when you have got a good first block and a good second block, you will have a fantastic time. As soon as you start winging it and as soon as you start throwing skulls for the skull throne, these rerolls are going to come in massively handy. You've got no ball skills here, you've got no combat skills, it's all frenzy and just straight up agility. So the first roster we're going to look at is the Bloodspawn 3 reroll here. This one comes in exactly at 100k, at 1000, so you've got nothing spare. You do get a bit of everything though, and that's what potentially makes this roster one of my favourites. You get the Bloodspawn, you get 2 of the Strength 4 Frenzy Bloodseekers, so you've got a 3 trio there. You've got a trio of high strength players, 1 Strength 5 Frenzy and all the anti-armor skills, and then 2 Strength 4 boys as well. You've got 2 Khorne Gors on this roster and 6 linemen, so 11 players all in, but the most beautiful thing here is you can get 3 rerolls into this roster. And there's a bit of flexibility there. So this roster itself, you've got the big guy, you've got 2 linebackers there who are going to be able to move around and bring that Strength 4 Frenzy where they want to. So you've got 3 solid pieces there where you can deploy on the line or keep them back to attack with. You've got 2 Khorne Gors so they can actually swoop in, grab the ball, or just be your primary blitzers, be your primary ball carriers, and you've got enough players to be 11. You've got 3 rerolls to kind of save you from those frenzy blocks and to make the most of the opportunities to actually pick up the ball. Remember the ball, Khorne players. I know it's fun to block the heck out of everybody, but remember the ball. You can flex this roster, and this is where this team is so flexible. You kind of can get a bit of everything, but not a lot of it all. So you can drop a reroll in this roster. So you can go Bloodspawn, 3 reroll, but you can drop a roster to upgrade a lineman to a Bloodseeker, or to upgrade 2 linemen to maximize your Khorne Gors. So if you're looking at this and you think actually 3 rerolls is a good amount, or I don't need 3 rerolls, you can then change one down, bring in your 3rd Bloodseeker, or bring in your 3rd and 4th Khorne Gor. You're going to be stuck at 11 players, so you'll have 11 players and 2 rerolls at that point. But if you want to run the Bloodspawn, you want to have those Khorne Gors and you want to have those Bloodseekers, but you don't think like you're going to need those all 3 rerolls, you can go to all 4 Khorne Gors. It's an interesting compensation piece. Less frenzy means potentially you'll need less rerolls, but you don't have the rerolls there for when you really need them. So like I said, you can drop a 3rd reroll and you can take a 3rd Bloodseeker, or you can max out your Khorne Gors to limit your frenzy. But this, as a great starting place, is a really fun way to do Khorne. This is the roster I ran when I did my test games, and the Bloodspawn was okay. It was fine. The Bloodseekers were absolutely brilliant. Khorne Gor did a great job. So I like this roster because you get a bit of everything, and if you are leaguing, and this is for league, the next 110k you spend, you pick up that next Bloodseeker. Or the next 70k, you pick up that next Khorne Gor, rather than saving up 120k to pick up a 3rd reroll. So, I don't know, this one really is going to be tailored to your liking, but as a starting point, this is a great place to be. But what if you're not fussed about running the spawn? So, no spawn, 3 rerolls. We take 3 of our 4 Bloodseekers, 2 of our 4 Khorne Gors, 6 linemen to bring us to 11 players, and we've got enough cash left over for 3 rerolls. Now, we've also got 50k spare at this point, and again, this is what I mean, it's a bit of a pick and choose roster. So you've got 50k left over. What you can do is upgrade 2 of your linemen to the 3rd and 4th Khorne Gor. So 3 Seekers, 4 Gors, and the rest are just linemen. You've still got 3 rerolls at this point. The other thing you can do is take an Apothecary if you want to keep your positionals safe. Now, the downside of this roster, as it is right there, is you've got 3 of your 4, you've really got 3 of your 5 most fun positionals. So this is going to be a lot of frenzy without a lot of the fun pieces. You do have that consistency with reroll. Apothecary is going to keep them alive. The other thing, and the thing that is definitely worth considering here, is being able to chuck 50k into dedicated fans means that you will massively accelerate your cash income when it comes to running your league team. So no spawn 3 rerolls is okay. You don't have the spawn, you are missing your 4th Bloodseeker. It's low on strength, but it is high on consistency with the rerolls and the dedicated fans or the apothecaries there. You are going to get a consistent experience. It's a strong place to start in league, but it's a lot less fun. And a slight twist to it is if you drop that third reroll and you run the 2, you've got the no spawn 2 reroll build. Again, this comes in at 950, but what you've got now is 4 Seekers, 2 Khorne Gores, 5 Linemen, and 2 rerolls with 50k left over. So this is straight away the box. So you buy the box, you will have 11 players. You will have 4 Seekers, 2 Khorne Gores, and 6 Linemen. So this actually gives you a spare lineman for you to buy in the future. And you immediately have 50k to spend on something. So your choices are to buy that 12th player, have that extra lineman, you increase your bench, you increase that consistency of your play. You can pick up the Apothecary and keep your 4 Bloodseekers and your 2 Khorne Gores alive. Really, at this point, all you're saving up for is the 3rd reroll and the big boy, if you want it. You can chuck that cash into dedicated fans as well to brew up all that money throughout League, or you can take it and upgrade 2 of your linemen to Khorne Gores. This is the roster I'm going to be running in League. I do love the idea of having the Blood Beast, but I'm going to be taking this one because I think the Bloodseekers are what makes this team mighty. I'm going to chuck the other 50k into dedicated fans straight off the bat. Okay, so that's going to give me dedicated fans of 6 at the beginning of the game. That's at least 30k extra that we're going to have every single game, which means I'm going to be able to save up and pick up a replacement player potentially, or pick up my 3rd reroll if I need it. Now, I don't intend on needing it because I'm going to try and lean on actually taking good blocks only when I need to, which will compensate that 2nd reroll. And that means I get to start with all 4 of my big dudes and enough dedicated fans to generate that cash. This is a slow brew roster, but I've got enough strength there and enough fun that actually I'm comfortable playing this one because I think by the end of the league, I have my big boy, I'll have my 3 rerolls, and we'll be absolutely smashing face with those Bloodseekers. But if you don't want to wait to have your fun, you can go for the max danger build. So this is straight up 1000, you've got nothing left over. 1 Bloodspawn, 4 Bloodseekers, 2 Gores, 4 Linemen, 1 reroll, no cares, okay? This roster is maximum strength. You've got the strength 5 frenzy piece, you've got 4 strength 4 frenzy pieces, you've got 2 of those frenzyless Gores who are going to be blitzing around on strength 4 with Ag 3+. But you've only got 1 reroll, so I do love this roster as well. This is going to give you the full Khorne experience. This is basically, you are living and dying by the dice at this point. You are going to have so many good blocks, but if those dice turn foul on you, you've got 1 reroll to escape. Now, the benefits of this one in a league environment, you've got all your positionals to start with, so you can start racking up those casualties, those MVPs, to get the SPPs in, so you can brew up those blocking Bloodseekers. You can get Brawler on the Bloodspawn nice and early on. So from that angle, really potentially like a really strong roster. The downside is you're saving up 120k every time you want to reroll. But you've already got everything else. If your dice roll hot, this roster will be super powerful. If it's not so strong, you're going to struggle a bit. So the max danger one is if you want to play Khorne and you want to live and die by the dice right now, go for it. But I think if we have to pick one roster to go with, this one is probably the best place to start. The Bloodspawn with 3 rerolls, it comes in bang on $1 million, so you have to spend everything you've got, but you get the big guy. You get 2 of those beautiful strength 4 frenzy pieces and 2 of your runners mixed in with 3 rerolls. So from a league point of view, this gets you everything so that you can really kind of go in as consistent and corny as possible, right? So it's a nice little mid-range roster. 3 rerolls is going to keep you safe with a lot of your frenzy blocks. You don't have all the strength 4 that you'd want, but you do have that strength 5 piece as well. So all you really have to do with this roster is 1, survive, and 2, save up enough money to fill out those extra Bloodseekers as you go along. So you don't start with your full roster, but what you do have is a bit of everything, and those 3 rerolls are going to keep you nice and consistent. And you can flex down, like I said earlier, drop 1 out and take your 3rd Bloodseeker, or your 3rd and 4th Khorne Gore might be a little bit better way to go. But I think start at this point, decide what you want to do, play a few games, and you'll soon get the Khorne experience, I think. But those 3 rerolls means that you're actually gonna save yourself when you double triple skull into double triple skull on a frenzy block. I love Frenzy. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. Do let me know in the comments below what roster you're taking, what you think of the Khorne roster. I cannot wait to run this in League. I've got my first game potentially next Tuesday with it, so looking forward to that for League. I've played a few games with them already and they've been... I just love the Bloodseekers. They're so consistent. That strength 4 just allows you to absolutely dominate. And it's going to really bring out the challenge of, is it block or is it mighty blow? But there's a theory Thursday on that. Anyway, Thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.